Yo, what up guys? It's Pete here. Just gonna show you guys today a little tutorial on how to make that vegan meat I've been posting a lot. It can be kind of confusing when I just kind of post random videos, but today I'm gonna make it pretty easy for you so you can get in the kitchen, feel confident, and make it right the first time. Alright, stay tuned. So for the ingredients, you're gonna need some flour. I would do like a bleached or unbleached flour. Make sure it's just a white flour, no whole wheat, no whole grain, nothing like that. Once you get more advanced with it, then you can start playing with the bread flours, the self-rising flours, and all those other ones. You're going to need some water to mix in with it. You're going to need a bowl to mix it with your hands and a spoon. And then you're going to need, at the stage where you're getting all the water out of it and washing it, you're going to need a colander too as well. You're going to need a KitchenAid like the one I have right here behind me to knead that. You're going to need it for about 5 minutes with that. You're going to need also some spices at the stage where you simmer or steam it. You're going to use like a chicken broth flavor. I'm typically using like a vegan one. If you're not vegan, you can use whatever you like for that. Use garlic powder, vegan chickenless seasoning salt I got from Trader Joe's. I also have some Himalayan pink salt I'm going to add in there, black peppercorn, and then some onion powder to kick it off. Might add some nutritional yeast in to get some more B vitamins. Alright guys, so I'm going to use a cup here. I'm going to get about 8 cups of this whole, all-purpose white flour, and that's going to give me a pretty big batch. The smaller you go, smaller obviously it's going to be because you're washing out all that starch, so you want to start bigger. These each cost me about $1.89, so it's not too bad. You're making a good quantity, so we might as well just use the whole bag. Alright, go ahead and grab yourself 8 cups of that, and then we'll go on to the next step. Alright guys, now that you have your 8 cups of the all-purpose flour in there, you want to make sure you have a good spoon. I use a metal spoon because it doesn't stick as much to it. You have your water here. I have approximately 3 cups of water. Don't know if I'm going to use it all. This is a very important step that you don't put too much water in at once, because it'll be too wet and it won't be able to knead the right way and develop those gluten textures. Because that's pretty much what we're doing here, guys, is developing those gluten textures, those fibers, so that they can have more of a meaty feel to it. Alright, so go ahead and do that. Alright guys, so I put about half of that in and I'm just mixing it up. So I'm going really slow with this process so you start to see the dough form. It's going to be like making pizza or bread at first, guys. So you just want to keep mixing it, get it all in there, make sure you get the bottom of it so it doesn't stick to it. Keep on going. So that's an indication I need more water because it's not really doing anything. So I'm going to slowly add some water in there all around it. Start mixing a little bit more. Alright, probably need some more water, guys. So put some more water in there. Dump the rest of it. Alright, so it's getting there. At some point, you're going to want to start using your hands, guys. So once it starts getting clumpy together, use your hands. Don't be afraid. Get a little dirty. Alright. Alright, guys, so I transferred that from the bowl over to the mixer, the KitchenAid. And I'm going to KitchenAid mix that for about, I would say 5 minutes, stopping to kind of move it and get it in the right position, and to add water or flour if I have to. Just remember that's something you have to do if it's too sticky or if it's not developed enough. And you can kind of tell after you're done eating, you can tell if it's done eating if you push it and it like reflexes back, so it kind of bounces back to itself. You'll know it's done then. So I'm going to put this on, and if you don't have one of these guys, you can do it the old-fashioned way by kneading it, pushing it through. It just takes longer. You're going to have to do it for about 10 to 12 minutes. Just keep that in mind, guys. Alright, I'm going to start this, and then we'll move on to the next step. Alright guys, so I KitchenAid that for about 5 minutes, and it looks just like this. You see how you can kind of push it back, and it kind of stays there in place. I'll show you how that looks a little bit closer. So what you do is you push it, and it kind of bounces back. So that's kind of what you want. And it's not sticky. I don't have anything coming off my hands. It's the exact texture that you want there. So what you're going to do now is you're going to place that back into that mixing bowl. You want to make sure that mixing bowl is clean. It has no flour on the outside. It's not wet. You're going to add this to that. Let it sit for about 2-3 minutes. And then you're going to fill that up with water. And that's going to be our next step that I'm going to show you. Let's do it. This is exactly how it should look after. You want to make it nice in a ball texture, ball shape. The Italian in me right now wants to flatten this out and make some pasta or make a pizza dough. But you got to help yourself not to do that. Make sure you don't go to that phase. Make sure you push it out and make this meat. Alright guys, so this is what it looks like. We're going to drop it into our water. Alright, so we have it in water, guys. I'm going to put my timer on for 1 hour. You want to make sure that it stays in there for that full hour. While that's going on, you can do some push-ups, you can do some squats, you can clean your house, you can call your friends, say, hey friends, come over, I'm making some vegan meat, Do whatever you like, guys. 1 hour, put the timer on, leave it on the countertop, make sure it's nice and cold water, it's not warm, and there you go. Next step. All right, now that it's been sitting for an hour, what you want to do is wash out the starch. So it's a pretty easy process. You want to keep cold water in here without emptying it. You want to make sure the water turns a whitish color, so it's going to look like this. Just want to massage it like you're kneading it. Water's going to start turning different colors. I'm just going to keep doing this process. You're probably going to do this about, I would say, like 5, 6, 7 times with clean water every single time. So just keep that in mind as well, guys. We're going to keep going. I'm going to show you one wash, and then I'll show you at the end for the next step. All right, guys? So that's about how it should look on the first wash. Then you can empty it. I'm about halfway through with the wash. As you can see, it's starting to change some texture. It's starting to get more stringy. I promise you guys it's going to look worse before it gets better. You just want to get all that starch out. It's really important. So if you start seeing some like flat white pieces, that's mainly the starch. So you want to keep washing. I'm going to go through a couple washes here to show you guys what it looks like. So any questions, please let me know. The hardest and most crucial parts to it, guys. All right, so watch this. Fill it up with warm or nice and cold water. Sorry, not warm water. And then just start kneading it again. Kneading it just like this until the water starts to get white every time. Then you're gonna restart that whole process over. I'll show you exactly what that looks like. It's gonna look like mangled grains, guys. It's gonna look really nasty. It's gonna look like you're doing a lot of bad stuff to it. But I promise you it'll work out in the long run. See that? Keep going. You're doing it right. This is after about maybe 7 or 8 washes, guys. So it looks pretty good. It's starting to come together. It's not as mangled as it was last time. I'm going to put in some fresh water and show you what it should look like once it's done. Hopefully this is the last wash that we have to do. So go ahead and knead it again. You're not really forcing it apart. You're just kind of kneading it. So you're kind of just like grabbing it like that. So as you can see, the water's not turning like strikingly white right away. That's good. That means a lot of the starch is out. So we have a little bit left. Alright, so let's see here. We have some inside here. We're going to get some out. You can see the starch, guys. It's really easy to pinpoint it and try to get it out. And it's the most important part, guys. If you don't get this starch out, you're not going to get the right product. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and wash it one more time because the water is still pretty white. Go ahead and go like that. Alright, that was the last wash, guys. All I did was squeeze out the excess water. And I set up a little colander over a bowl. And we're just going to let that drain for about an hour. And then we'll go on to the next step. 1 hour is up. Now it's time to slice it in half. And then we're going to try to get it to elongate so we can tie it in a knot for the chicken shreds. Guys, at this point, if you're going to make it maybe into a steak, what you can do is cut it into 4 individual pieces. And then you can kind of beat it down. So you can use that or a meat... what they call those things, like a meat hammer. I don't freaking know. I don't eat meat. But you can take one of those things, put maybe a little bit of like saran wrap over it or something, and then just beat it down. Beat all 4 pieces down to a steak. You can cut it into little chunks, and you can make like a chicken chunk, beef chunk, put it in soups, chicken noodle soup. I like shredding it just because I put it in sandwiches. I know Kat and I love making stir fry with it and whatnot. So I'm just going to cut it in half, guys. So you cut it just like this. It's kind of awkward. Try your best to get equal slices. Alright, y'all, I just cut it, and now I'm letting it get a little bit longer. Like I said, the longer you let it sit, the more gluten fibers develop, so the easier it is to mess around with. So the goal for the shreds is to get as long as possible without breaking, so that you can put it in a lot of decently big knots. The bigger the knots, the more you're going to get that shreddy texture that you want from like a shredded chicken, things like that as well. You can also put some of these seasonings in. I have some right here. So this is the vegan chicken list, the peppercorn. I have also the Himalayan salt here, garlic powder, and onion powder that I'm going to add to it before I cook it. All right, once it's stretched enough, then you can start knotting it. It looks just like this. You want to take it, make a knot. Go all the way down. Not too tight, you don't want to rip it. Make another knot. And take it and then kind of pull it. Yep, there you go. And repeat the process, stretching a little bit as you go. Alright guys, so it looks like that so far. Make another knot. Stretch this side out a little bit. Make it look all pretty. And then you want to do this with the second one as well. This is the best I've done it so far. I can already see like the texture in the chicken. After the knotting process, you're gonna have a kind of a similar look to this. You're gonna have a lot of striation patterns in it, and that's exactly what you want, because when it steams and then simmers, you're gonna get a nice off the bone rip shred texture. It's gonna be great. You're gonna love it. After knotting, you're going to put your seasoning in. I'm going to use the vegan chickenless seasoning and some other things as well to make it taste like chicken. You're going to rub those in for a good couple minutes and make sure you lightly knead it in to make sure it really sits in there and the flavor gets really nice. Then what you're going to do is you're going to drop these babies in a pot of just simmering water that's going to simmer until they rise up to the top. Once that's done, we can move on to the next step. The water is just under the simmer. I'm going to place the seitan into the water, and I'm going to let that rise up to the top naturally, and that's when I know that this process is over with. So I'm going to show you that. Place that in the water. A lot of the seasoning is going to come off, guys, but it's just a dry rub, so we're just trying to get it in there initially. Alright, while that is going, I have my crock pot on warm, and I'm making a small broth that I'm going to add this water to. Alright guys, so we're done cooking here with this part. Now we're going to transfer this over to the crock pot, and we're going to steam that on low for about 32 to 35 minutes. I just want to show you guys what this texture looks like. So it's not sticky anymore, it's not soft anymore. It's got like a bouncy back meat texture to it. So you can see that there. That's exactly what you want. See, the striations got a little bit better. Now we're going to throw it in that broth. We're going to let it steam in there, and it's going to be really, really nice. Would you just look at this? Look at this. Oh. This one looks even better. Guys, do this. I'm telling you, you will not be upset. Even if you eat meat, you will love this. Please try it. Ask me for help. I'm here to help. The final step is complete. It's steamed and or simmered for about 35 minutes. And I let it sit in the warm broth to kind of just soak it all up. Now what we can do with this is we can shred it. We can make sandwiches like Philly cheesesteaks. We can shred it and use it for stir fry. We can make all kinds of different things with it, guys. We can even make like a buffalo dip. Possibilities are endless. It's all depends on your creativity. Here's a cool tip for you guys when you are going to shred the chicken. You want to take it and then kind of shred it like this. Across all of it, and then you want to use your hands for the last part. I'm going to show you why. You get better shredding when you use your hand. Let's check this out. You get a nice shred in there. That's really hot, just to give you an example of what it looks like. Alright, so I shredded most of it, and this is what it looks like. See, it's got a nice little like skin on the outside almost from the simmering and the steaming. You just pull it apart, guys. It's pretty damn good. It's one of my best batches I think I've had in a long time. There you go. Look at that. Tonight I'm making some Philly cheesesteaks for my baby and I. Should be delicious. Delicious. Oh, I can't talk. Delicious.
Oh,